Hi everybody, I'm Steve Schmidt, the Chief Information Security Officer at Amazon Web Services. Welcome to AWS Verified, where we'll be discussing the latest in cybersecurity, privacy, and the cloud. With me today, I've got Reeny Sondhi, Vice President and Chief Security Officer at Autodesk. As CSO, Reeny is responsible for driving all security-related strategy and decisions across the company. She leads the teams responsible for the security of Autodesk's infrastructure, cloud, products and services, as well as the teams dedicated to security governance, risk and compliance, and security incident response. Thanks for joining me, Reeny.
My pleasure, Steve.
Now, Reeny, for those who may not be familiar, could you share a little bit about what Autodesk does and a bit about your role as VP and Chief Security Officer?
Yeah, absolutely. So simply put, Autodesk makes software for people who make things. So most people in the software world have heard of AutoCAD, which is one of our flagship products. But if you have ever driven a high-performance car, admired a skyscraper or a modern-day architectural marvel, used a smartphone, or watched a great film, chances are that you've experienced what millions of Autodesk customers are doing with the products that we build. On my end, I've been with Autodesk for almost 6 years now. I joined the company to lead the product and cloud security and build out the strategy around that. And around 3 years back, we consolidated all security functions under one team, and I got the opportunity to be the first Chief Security Officer for Autodesk.
So what is the role of security in enabling, I think you call it, a better world designed and made for all?
Yes, it's our vision. It's Autodesk's vision. And one of our strategic strengths in customer engagement is this notion of trust. Our customers, especially for our cloud services, are looking at us to be able to protect their data better than they can. So we take our commitment to this very seriously. For us, success is when our customers don't have to think about security and it is seamless to them. We look at achieving this via three key elements, and we call them build secure, run secure, and stay secure.
So quite often people ask me, how did I get to where I am in a security leadership role? I started off as a software development manager, amongst other things. And I believe you started your career as a product manager. Can you tell us a little bit about how your journey went from when you went from product management to security leadership?
Sure. Yes, you're absolutely right. I started my professional career in product management. My passion as a product manager was to understand, customer problems and come up with either innovative products or features to help solve them. So while I entered the world of security, I tell my team I entered the world of security by accident from product management. But staying in this profession has been my choice. I've been able to take the same passion I had when I was a product manager for solving real-world customer problems forward as a security leader.
So how does your background in product management inform the integration of security into product and service design?
So my background has pushed me into creating a security program that makes security more accessible. So we have done a couple of things, and I'll tell you how we think about making security more accessible. First, we have taken an approach to sequence out the security requirements, which is easier and more palatable for engineering teams. We don't throw hundreds of requirements over the fence and say, hey, go figure out how to incorporate these into your product development life cycles. Second, we have knocked down the traditional ways in which we may have thought of security in the past. Automation is extremely critical and a critical area for my team to focus on. If something can be automated, my team's focus is typically on automating that versus trying to bolt on security at specific points in a product development lifecycle.
Reeny, you've got a very broad customer base. Autodesk serves customers across architecture and engineering, construction, media and entertainment, and manufacturing. With such a widely diverse customer base, can you share a little bit about the factors that impact the security decisions your team has to make?
Indeed, Steve, we do have a very diverse set of customers. Protecting our customers' crown jewels, as we call them, and their personally identifiable information is of utmost importance to Autodesk. And our security program has to keep data security front and center as we build out our strategy and our implementation. Our products and platform are also built for heavy collaboration. So it is important for us to enable that in a secure manner, where the information that our customers are sharing is protected, their user experience is awesome, and security doesn't come in the way of collaboration.
I love the discussion about security being in the way of collaboration. I'm always really interested in how the sort of people works into the process of security. Now, I'm sure over time you could collect an enormous pile of information about what works and what doesn't. Can you share some lessons you've learned about the people, the processes, and security best practices involved with creating a successful security platform?
So one lesson that I will talk about is consistency in approach. And another key lesson that I've learned over the course of the last few years is to demystify security as much as possible for all constituents in the organization. The more we treat security as a special snowflake, the worse the problem that we are creating around needing special skills, special talent to solve security challenges and security problems. There is a dearth of good security talent in the industry, as you are very well aware. And the more we demystify what is needed to secure our systems, networks, and applications, the more easily accessible security is going to become to developers.
I want to amplify something that you touched on because I think it's really important for our audience to hear. The demystification that you talk about is an incredibly important part about making sure that all of our developers understand that they are owners of security as well.
And Steve, I will, I'll further go out and say here, when I go and talk to engineering teams in Autodesk, I tell them security is not just my job. It's not the job of the central security organization. It's everybody's job. In the same vein, we emphasize developer-centric tools so that security is not treated as a separate process. To do so, we bring our security capabilities into the existing systems that developers use on a daily basis, right? So such as the likes of GitHub and Jira, rather than separate dedicated security tooling. As an example, it is difficult and pretty expensive, to be perfectly honest, to train developers to learn a separate static analysis tool or a solution. They already know GitHub and pull requests very well, so everything just gets surfaced there, and they work within the comfort of the tools that they're very well aware of. The second element I'll talk about here is transparency. This is a very critical value at Autodesk, and we have a robust security dashboard that shows where our development teams are when it comes to security, and it also helps drive accountability within the teams. Another unique attribute to driving security into our culture has been via Security Score, a personalized scorecard for security that we have implemented for every employee in the organization. This enables people to take ownership of security, and it empowers and educates them to practice good general security behaviors with actionable insights.
As with most security organizations, talent is the most important thing that we have and is conversely really, really hard to come by. How do you attract new employees and, more importantly, keep the existing employees engaged?
Yes, Steve, talent is absolutely a big challenge in this industry. And like my peers in the industry, attracting the right talent is definitely a top of mind concern for us. We have a culture within the team that values new ideas and also gives room to develop a growth mindset. We give cross-domain opportunities across the team that also enables them to learn beyond the scope of the jobs that they've been hired to do. And it also ultimately, all of this that I'm talking about, it ultimately leads to retention within the team. We also have a very big focus on diversity and belonging at Autodesk. And while diverse talent is sometimes hard to get in security, seeking it out deliberately definitely helps. We've also been partnering with universities such as the Morgan State University, one example that comes to my mind, where my security team has been working with students to improve secure software development practices. So, ultimately, we want to not just hire existing diverse talent that is out there, but also end up creating diverse talent for the rest of the industry.
Reeny, thank you again for joining us today on Verified. I've really enjoyed the conversation.
It's been my pleasure, Steve. Thank you for having me.